Download this code and get free GPT-4o from codegive.com, link in the description below. Sure. rs232 is a standard for serial communication that is commonly used for connecting computers and peripherals. In Java, you can use libraries such as Java Communications API, javax.comm, or Java's Simple Serial Connector, jssc, to interact with rs232 ports. For this tutorial, I'll be using jssc because it is easier to set up and use. Below, I will guide you through the process of installing jssc, writing a simple Java program to communicate via rs232, and then running the application. Step 1, Setting up jssc. 1. Download jssc. You can find the library on its GitHub page, https://github.com/scream3r/java-simple-serial-connector. Download the latest release as a .jar file. 2. Add jssc to your project. If you're using an IDE like IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse, add the .jar file to your project's build path. Step 2, Basic Serial Communication in Java. Here's a simple example that demonstrates how to open a serial port, send a message, and read a response. Code example. Step 3, Running the example. 1. Connect your device. Make sure that your rs232 device, like a serial console, modem, or any other peripheral, is connected to the specified COM port. 2. Compile and run the Java program. Ensure that you have permission to access the serial port. You may need to run your IDE or the Java application with elevated privileges, as an administrator on Windows or using sudo on Linux. Explanation of code. Serial port. This class represents the serial port. You create an instance by specifying the port name. Open port opens the specified serial port. Setparams configures the communication parameters like baud rate, data bits, stop bits, and parity. Write string sends a string of data to the serial port. Read string reads a string of data from the serial port. Close port closes the serial port when done. Important notes. Permissions. On Linux, you may need to add your user to the dialout group or use sudo to access serial ports. Port names. The port name may vary based on your operating system. Windows, typically COM1, COM2, etc. Linux, typically /dev/ttyusb0, /dev/ttys0, etc. Mac OS, typically /dev/tty.usb modem xxxx or /dev/tty.usb serial xxxx. Conclusion. This tutorial provides a basic overview of how to set up and use rs232 communication in Java using the jssc library. You can expand on this example by adding error handling, configuring different communication settings, or integrating it into a larger application.